Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Nur Azalia binti Abu Bakar from Institute Technology Malaysia, and I'll be presenting our studies titled Data-Driven Inventory Management Model for Procurement and Supply Chain of National Utility Company. This is the current trend in the supply chain and inventory management nowadays, whereby there is a demand to have the supply chain analytics application that covers the planning optimization, the sourcing of decision making, the manufacturing optimization, and also the distribution and order fulfillment. What we enhance or emphasize on the supply chain analytics is about the data integration. All those things that I explained earlier will be pulled in one single warehouse, and all data will be integrated. And along with that, there is also digital transformation in the energy sector. So is a huge demand to have this supply chain analytics in the energy sector area, which will be our scope of this study. So what is the existing problem that urge us to study in this area? There is actually the supply chain management issues faced by the national utility company in Malaysia, including a very high inventory levels, non and slow moving items, and imbalance between good received and good out. And what we tried to solve in this study is to develop and propose an effective inventory management model using the business intelligence and data-driven approach, so we can solve the issues regarding the management materials and also the stocks in the national utility company. Our research scope will be the inventory management model, and based on the data-driven solution, focusing on the procurement and supply chains in Tenaga Nasional Berhad in Malaysia. What are the issues that urge us to study on these matters? Firstly, there is a slow-moving item in supply chain of the national utility company. And second issue is the mismatch process between units. Third is there is extra purchase of the spare parts. Fourth is there is non-recorded material. And finally, there is also change of the specification even after the good is ordered and received. So, to resolve that issue, we try to review on the existing inventory management model such as cloud services, supply chain model builder, SAM model, COSO framework, cycle count method, resource-based view, and also flexible IT. So, from this 7 model, we found that there are several characteristics that we can focus on, such as one is internal control and planning, open system and visibility, supply chain management report, demand forecasting, inventory segmentation and classification, stakeholder interaction, and finally external link, which cover the suppliers and service provider. So we try to highlight all these characteristics in our study and map out how can we utilize on this characteristic. So based on the review from the gap of the studies conducted, we find there is key personal identification issues whereby we don't know actually who are responsible in a national utility company to handle this supply chain management, and also their roles either is duplicate or this is a gray area regarding the roles, and also the interaction between the stakeholders. So based on this gap that we got it from the framework and also from the scope of our study, from our study domain, we want to propose a new model of inventory management. And we also did a case study interview whereby we have interviewed several people from the company that covers different type of division. As you can see here, there are so many divisions, there's no duplication, and they handle all the relevant job scope as long as it's related to procurement and supply chain, and they are all from different departments, because we try to get as much as possible, as wide of possible coverage, and most of them also are seniors. The maximum years of services is 35, even almost 35 years working in the national utility company, and the most juniors is 9, so means that they are very well versed and know about the business very well. So from the interview findings, we found that these are the issues that they highlighted and what they wanted to be resolved, which is most of them highlighted that they want a single source of truth, meaning that currently in the procurement data, there is no trustable or no one data that they can rely on. Okay, and then they also require standardization in the process, because national utility company covers the whole nation of Malaysia, and they have so many departments. So from their findings, what they said that different department has different ways of handling the orders. So they really urge to have this standardization of the process. The other issues is on the system customization and no working in silo policies related to standardization. Again, data integration, automation system, and they want to inculcate effective communication, and they really emphasize to have a clear and concise direction. So what we can propose to this national utility company is to have these 3 layers of SCM model, which cover the integration layers, application layers, and data layers, whereby all the contractors and suppliers will be gathered in one single data warehouse. Okay, and also all the contracts and the processes should be put in one database or one source, okay, for references. And this database of suppliers, contractors, and the guidelines should be disseminated well between the departments, such as the most department that rely on the SCM is the transmission, division, and generation. And when they want to have a SCM system, supply chain management system, these are the things that need to be improved, such as they need to have the inventory classification and segmentation, means that perhaps they need to revise and have a data warehouse to properly classify all the goods of their company. And then they need to have the healthy outlook in the material scheduling, means that some analytics need to be done to trigger if the stock is already reached the 0 levels, minimum levels, with some color highlights and SMS to notice them. And the third characteristic that they need to implement is to have the inventory visibility management, means that everyone across division will know what's happening to the goods. Okay, and also this is the things that really involve analytics is on the demand forecasting, because if they keep the data at one place, they can predict when should they make a new order and what is the trend that will trigger these orders, and so on. And finally, they also can improve on the service level planning if they have a data, because they will know already the patterns of how people order goods from the supply chain division. Hence, how this model that we propose can work. It will be put in the Procurement Digital Center, the HQ, and everyone that require a goods from the National Utility Company will contact this Procurement Digital Center, and these are the rest of the department in the National Utility Company. And at the same time, the outside party, which is the manufacturer, vendor, and contractor, also should supply their information, their stocks or their goods information only to one single center, they shouldn't contact directly to the division. With that, the HQ can have a very thorough and transparent processes when handling the supply chain management. Okay, so what we recommend for this national utility company is, based on our studies and based on the issues and what are the other standards being going on, is they should have a smart purchase on the material stock and services. This can be achieved if they have a proper system with the data that is very comprehensive, and they should have a predictive maintenance and asset replenishment. And the third thing is they should also monitor the vendor and contractor performance, which actually they can get it if they have the data sufficiently. And number 4, it is suggested to have a consolidated purchases. Yes, once you have everything gathered at one single center, these consolidated purchases can be achieved, and it will be more cheaper rather than you purchase by department itself. And number 5 is to have a smart inventory management process. As I mentioned earlier, you have a health check, you have the SLP and so on, and then category management and also the warehouse management system. Okay, so with that, we propose all the 7 criteria to be achieved or to be implemented by this national utility company. So I end my presentation. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask by emailing to our team or you can ask after this. Thank you.